I don't know why God thinks I'm one of his strongest soldiers, but I'm here to tell you that I am weak. I am weak of flesh and of mind. I have gone through hell and high water to try to get this video filmed. This video is getting filmed, okay? Okay, it's getting, you hear me? It's getting filmed. Okay. Hi, welcome back to Vintage in Color, where I have not lost my sanity. I don't know, maybe I have. I'm trying to be a YouTuber in 2024 talking about Black history. Maybe maybe I kind of have. I don't fucking know. We're going to talk about the history of glamour magic in Black herstory. We're going to try. We're going to try. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe my house will burn down next or something in the middle of the video. I don't know. Maybe I have noticed that in the Black witch talk community, glamour magic has been a topic for many of the girlies on Black witch talk. And I think that's really interesting because if we look at the history of Black witches, of Black women, beauty and magic have been closely linked. Beauty and manifestation have been closely linked for centuries. This is not a new phenomenon, and I want to talk about it today. And so we are going to, hopefully, Jesus Christ, for the love of everything that is holy and pure, may we please be able to talk about this. Oh God. So yeah, let's talk about it. This is the history of glamour magic in the Black community.
Okay. Ah, shut up. What do I care about that? He's only the manager of the show. I'm the star. I'm the big star around here. Nobody tells me what to do. I tell them.
It's good, Indiana. Gosh, I never thought I'd be lucky enough to learn anybody like you.
Glad you enjoyed your vacation.
Vacation? How come you can't afford it?
Unsurprisingly, we can see glamour magic start to emerge with the earliest Black beauty brands, such as Annie T. Malone's Hair Care line in the early 1900s. But I want to start with Madam C.J. Walker, who I believe is the pioneer for the idea of glamour magic and the way that it can help us manifest our highest self. See, before Madam C.J. Walker was the Madam C.J. Walker, she was Sarah Breedlove, a struggling single mother who struggled with scalp disease and hair loss. And she discovered Annie T. Malone's products. She began using Annie T. Malone's products in the 1910s, and it grew her hair back thick, long, and lustrous, giving her the confidence to become one of Annie T. Malone's many sales girls. But not only that, it gave her the idea that maybe she could do this too. And so she began formulating her own products in her kitchen. And this is where the Madam Walker line comes from. Surprisingly, Madam Walker's kind of first foray into the beauty industry was actually through like cosmetics, hair care, and skincare products, not the hair straightener as we all have been led to believe. She promised that her miracle hair grower could grow your hair long and lustrous overnight as if by miracle. She also promised that the enviable beauty of the girl next doors could be yours so long as you used her products. And she was somewhat correct because grooming and hygiene was something that was sorely lacking in the Black community. This was a holdover from slavery. During slavery, many slaves were not allowed to have hygienic products. There was no care given into their personal hygiene or grooming, and so therefore they had to make do with very meager resources. And this was something that remained true into Reconstruction era. Many Black people struggled with scalp disease, with hair loss, with skin afflictions because of a lack of hygienic products that were specially formulated for us. And this is where Madam Walker filled that void. So her products actually did help to empower many Black women by giving them something that was just for them, that could target their scalp disease or their skin afflictions, etc. But it also provided them with jobs and helped them to bring money into their households, helping them to manifest better for themselves and their families the way Madam Walker had manifested better for herself. And in the process of becoming this astute businesswoman, she would take on the title of Madam, because back in those days, Black women were not allowed to be called Miss or Mrs. or Ma'am. And so by donning the name Madam, she made it very clear her position in society and her importance as a businesswoman and entrepreneur, i.e., manifesting one's highest self. Can we talk about it? She would not be the only Black woman during the turn of the century to do this. Another struggling single mother by the name of Nellie would also get her break by basically casting off her image as a washerwoman and single mom of three when D.W. Griffith decided that he was going to film a little movie nobody's ever heard of called Birth of a Nation in her hometown of Kentucky. Nellie would go on to write Mr. Griffith a letter of recommendation for herself, basically pitching herself as the actress or as the person that he just had to hire for a particular role. See, originally the script was supposed to call for a Black woman who was a land owning free woman who would either she slapped one of the white women in the script or she like spat on her. Either way, it was wild for the 1910s. Okay, and the censors were never going to let that happen, but baby, the movie we could have gotten. can you can you imagine? But that's neither here nor there. So Nellie wrote herself a letter of recommendation to D.W. Griffith and ended up scoring a face-to-face audition with him. However, she knew that she couldn't go in there in her scarf and her scrubs, so she managed to put together a nice dress made out of, beautiful fabric. She wrapped her hair up in a turban and then had her hair in long braids coming out of the turban. She put on like bangles and jewels. I mean, she really did it up. And she created a new persona for herself. This persona would be called Madame Sultewan. And much like Madame Walker, Nellie would not tell anyone what her real name was. She was Madame Sultewan, period. Okay, that was how she was known. Mr. Griffith was so impressed that he signed her to a studio contract, probably one of the first studio contracts that any Black woman had been signed to in the history of Hollywood to that point. Because remember, Hollywood is new at this point. It's 1910, 1911. Hollywood is brand new. And she's got a contract making like $250 a week, which is pretty good, damn good money actually in the 1910s for a struggling single mom. So, this is another aspect of how glamour magic works. You see your highest self and you manifest your highest self through transforming your outer appearance. You go in, you walk the walk, you look the part, and you get which get gains. That's what it's all about. And this is something that Black women, it's, again, have been practicing since the early 1900s. Now, moving forward to the 1920s and 30s, and Black women's image is becoming associated with mystique and exoticism and mysticism through brands such as Nile Queen and Madame Brown, which are other beauty brands that start to pop up, and they are pushed by shake dancers, models, and other important entertainment figures in the Black community. None more so than Josephine Baker, who goes on to go from street urchin to the highest paid chorus girl in all of Paris and probably one of the most important figures in Black American entertainment. And she sells her entire image to a bunch of high sedity white French women in 1920. Baker Fix is supposed to get your hair laid like hers. Baker Tan, I think is what her makeup was called. Her skincare line is supposed to get your skin the same complexion as hers. Her entire image is packaged and sold to a nation of women that look nothing like her. If that ain't manifesting one's higher self, I don't know what is. We can't talk about this era of beauty and makeup without talking about Lucky Mojo. Lucky Mojo was an offshoot of the brand Lucky Heart Cosmetics. Lucky Heart Cosmetics was probably one of the biggest beauty brands in Black America and Black beauty by the 1930s. And they had a sort of sister company called Lucky Mojo, which was exclusively products made for root workers. They sold things such as sachets, dressing oils, candles, herbs, uh, potions and tinctures, etc. Things that you would need, any fledgling witch or practitioner would need to do root work for clients or for themselves. And they would basically use them straight as they came, just imbuing them with a little bit of intention to manifest good luck, especially in gambling, because everybody was playing the numbers because it was the 1930s, everybody was broke. Love, marriage, fertility, beauty, etc. And this was a very popular brand with Black folks all the way until they discontinued selling the products, I believe, in like 1950 or so. But moving into 1950s and the 1960s, we have Lena Horne, who has gone from being the little chorus girl in the 1930s to now being one of the most glamorous Black figures in Hollywood. And she also has started her own beauty line, Lena Horne Cosmetics, where she employs other Black women to basically do what Madam Walker's workers did and Annie T. Malone's workers did before them, and had them go out into the neighborhood to sell her products. Actually, I want to go back to Madam Walker because I want to talk more about the importance of beauty and manifestation, especially back in that time frame, because one of the important factors of being an employee for Madam Walker or Annie T. Malone was that you be politically involved. Annie T. Malone and Madam Walker's workers were considered like some of the most esteemed figures in the Black community. To have a job working for them was a very respectable career at that time. And they used that position in order to push politics that were progressive for the Black community. For example, Madam Walker would lobby her employees together in order to write a letter to the president at the time in order to pass anti lynching legislation. Unfortunately, he wouldn't meet with them because I don't know, Black people's lives weren't important to people in power. They still kind of aren't. But hey, that was just one of the many ways that we use beauty as a means of gaining a foothold of power in society. And it was still important. These people still used their access into Black homes to help push progressive ideals as well as push the importance of being involved in politics. And this is something that has remained true throughout history. For example, we jump forward again in history to the 1950s, the Beaux Arts Ball held by Molly Moon, where Molly Moon would use one of the biggest social events of the year, the Beaux Arts Ball, hosting a beauty pageant to fundraise for Black political strategists and Black political goals of the 1950s and 60s to help push the civil rights movement, which would begin in the 1960s. And then forward again to the 80s, where we have Fashion Fair Cosmetics and the Fashion Fair Fashion Show, in which oh gosh, I want to say the woman who started it was the wife. I've done a video about this, but she was the wife of the editor and creator of Ebony Magazine, I believe. She started Fashion Fair Cosmetics as a means of basically pushing for equal rights in the entertainment and beauty industry for Black models who didn't have any makeup, for Black women who didn't have any makeup. And these women set the precedent for women such as Rihanna, who once again pushed the envelope forward for inclusion in the entertainment and beauty industry for Black women to have more opportunities, to have Black faces in the entertainment industry, etc. And so this marriage of beauty, glamour magic, and manifestation is something that sees its way through generation after generation after generation of Black women until we get to where we are today in 2024, where more Black women now than ever are using magic as a means of getting what they want out of life, using manifestation, um, getting into spirituality. We have women like Summer Walker who are now openly getting into voodoo, or women such as Beyonce who kind of all but says that she's into the practice, into the craft. She won't directly say it. I know she ain't gonna just come out and say it, but girl, like we see you. Like we see what you doing. We see you. And so you have Black witches today basically picking up that mantle, moving it forward, using glamour magic, using beauty, using self beautification, self love, and self improvement to push ourselves forward and manifest better for ourselves, for our communities, and for each other. And I just, I love to see that. So, yes, yeah, I don't really have you guys, I've had to go off script so many times. I don't even know how I'm going to end this video. Um but I hope that you guys got a little something out of it. If you were interested in any of these topics, the topics of like history, like Black makeup and the history of Black makeup, you can find those videos here. If you're interested in knowing kind of like how some of our favorite Black glamour girls of yesteryear became who they are, you can watch my video on Joyce Bryant, where I talk about kind of her rise to fame and how she became who she became. You can watch my video on Eartha Kitt. I actually made this video because I saw a video about Eartha Kitt on TikTok and the way that she utilized glamour magic, and I just knew I had to go there. Yeah, but I am pretty much done. I don't have it in me to do a cute little outro. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope that that made some kind of semblance of sense. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I'm gonna go eat. All right, until next time, you guys. Bye. Right, so this is just a test to see how the microphone picks up, how close I need to have it to my mouth. This is very close. This is not close. This is yes, it is. And this is Cribs. And you're watching MTV Cribs. I'm just gonna oh shit. I'm just gonna give up on trying to get this dress to fit properly. That's just what it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fit. Okay. No, I didn't. I didn't iron my dress. Okay, shoe cam because your girl didn't spend all this time picking out the perfect shoes. Look at it matches my microphone. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. I didn't spend all this time picking out the perfect shoes for this fit for y'all to not see it. So we're going to take a moment to appreciate the shoes, the fit, and the effort. Okay. All right. So